All right, guys, the brand new Yamamoto baits 2.5-inch Yamatanuki is here. I've had the opportunity to fish with this bait. I'm going to share with you some fish catches. I'm also going to share with you my favorite ways to rig this bait. There's only a couple ways to rig it, but I'm going to tell you my favorite way to rig it, the way I think you should rig it. And we're also going to answer the question as to why they chose to downsize the Yamatanuki and what it means for you guys out there that are going to buy this lure and actually fish with it. If you guys watched my last video on the 3.5-inch Yamatanuki, you'll remember that I really enjoyed the bait. It's a fish catcher machine, and I've consistently fished with it since then. But what I'm finding is I've taken this one out twice now, and I'm finding that the 2.5-inch Yamatanuki, for whatever reason, shines more than the 3.5-inch. Now, every lake may be different. I've only fished it on one lake, the 2.5-inch. But I'm going to tell you, this bait right here, this little piece of plastic, is a fish catcher machine. Let me share with you one of my catches from the couple trips that I've actually had out there.
There he is, you guys. Dandy Northern
on the 2.5 Yamatanuki. So the question we got to ask and answer is, why did they downsize the Yamatanuki? Really, the only thing I can think of is to provide a smaller profile, a smaller bait fish profile. This thing imitates nothing but a small bluegill or a small perch, but quite a bit smaller of a profile than the 3.5-inch. And I'm telling you guys, just like any other type of fishing, sometimes less is more. Whether that's downsizing your bait, less cast, making less cast but working the bottom better, or working that water column better than you normally would. Especially this time of year, the fish have been pressured week after week, weekend after weekend, tournament after tournament. These fish have seen everything. They're really smart this time of year. So to fire something in there at them like this, the little baby 2.5-inch Yamatanuki, just might be what you need to get that extra bite or two to save your trip or save your tournament that you're fishing in. Now, I have found two productive ways to rig this bait. Number one, just like the big brother, the 3.5-inch Yamatanuki, you're going to want to rig this Texas rigged, but rather than a 4/0 or 5/0 hook, a 2/0 extra wide gap hook is the perfect size for this to rig it weightless. It's a fairly chunky piece of plastic. It does sink relatively fast considering its size, but if you want to rig it weightless, Texas rigged, reach for the 2/0 extra wide gap hook, and then you can Texpose it a little bit right in the channel there to make it weedless, and that is a very phenomenal way to fish it. But method number two, which is my favorite style to rig this bait, is with a Ned rig, a Ned head. I chose the 1/4 ounce, and that's the only size I've used with the 2.5-inch Yamatanuki. But the reason I chose 1/4 ounce is because it's a little heavier head, and being that this plastic is thick and dense the way it is, it already wants to kind of sink fast on its own. So what I found with the 1/4 inch is that I get that fall, a faster fall like this, while this tail the whole time is kicking down like this, imitating a small bait fish, you know, maybe perch, bluegill, whatever it is. But when you have that Ned head, it falls like this, and then I hop it. You know, so every time it's on the bottom and it's just sitting there, that tail is just kicking like that. So then I'll hop it. Or if you drag it, but the whole time, the nose of that bait is maintaining contact with the bottom if you're just dragging it, but that tail is making that irresistible kick that I found, I mean, I can't keep fish from not biting it. So what I found is every fish that I was watching on Live Scope that came in to take a look at this ate it. And I think a lot of that, when I was rigged with a Ned rig, had to do with the fact that that tail, even if you're just dragging it on the bottom or hopping it, that tail consistently is up in the air and kicking. Now, when you rig it weightless, you're getting more of a flat presentation. And, you know, when you hop it, the whole thing kind of hops around. You still get a good tail kick, but it's just a different presentation. So it's something different to try. Like if you guys are fishing it weightless and not getting the bites that you're expecting, if you're using forward-facing sonar and you can see what's going on down there, you're not getting the bites you're expecting to get, try Ned rigging it. Actually, I would suggest start with Ned rigging it and move out from there. But a Ned rig was a really, really productive way. And I'm actually going to be fishing this thing this weekend. I got a fishing tournament, as you can see. I'm getting everything kind of dialed in. The garage is a mess, but everything's getting loaded into the truck here real soon. And we're going to be fishing that tournament Saturday morning. I feel like this bait, and I'm going to be trying it Monday for smallmouth, is going to be an absolute beast. I'm going to Ned rig this baby on Lake St. Clair this coming Monday and fish the crap out of it, and we'll see how well the smallmouth take to this. Okay, so a fun little fact about Yamamoto baits. You guys may know, you may not know, but back in 2021, they were bought out by a company called GSM Outdoors. And GSM Outdoors, this is their first dive into the fishing industry. And acquiring Yamamoto baits was kind of concerning to me, because what can happen is when bigger companies buy out these smaller companies, and I mean Yamamoto bait's been around since the early 80s. They're not a small company by any means, but GSM Outdoors is on a whole different level. They're the umbrella company that owns a lot of little ones underneath of them. But what can be concerning is the quality of the products moving forward. I'm going to tell you that's not the case here. GSM Outdoors is taking Yamamoto baits to a whole new level in the fishing industry, starting with this YAMATANUKI. And then also, here's another one I'm excited about, the Yamacraw. This is a 4-inch craw, and this is a very unique bait. It's not the same plastic as the YAMATANUKI or the Yamasenko that we're all familiar with Yamamoto baits having. It's a little more of a floating type material. It's not a Laztec. But what I'm excited about this Yamacraw is this is one of the most natural craw presentations that I've been able to find out there, with the big appendages, with the 4-inch big body frame. I mean, this is imitating an actual crawfish. It's not a little chunk. It's not real narrow. I mean, this thing is as real as it gets. And I'm excited to throw this. I'm actually going to try Texas rigging it, weightless and pegged with a weight. I'm also going to throw this baby on a jig trailer or maybe a jackhammer trailer and drag it around a little bit, depending on where I'm fishing. But that's one thing I'm really excited about, is that, you know, with the acquisition, it seems like Yamamoto Baits is really boosting themselves into the fishing industry outside of just the Senko that we all have fished and known for years and years and years. So shout out to GSM Outdoors for really taking Yamamoto baits to the next level, and I'm excited to see where it goes here in the future. So if you guys made it this far and you haven't yet, consider subscribing to the channel. It's free to subscribe, and make sure you hit the little bell notification. Click it to all, that way you're notified every time I upload a new video like this. And if you guys didn't watch my video on the 3.5-inch YAMATANUKI, I'm going to leave that for you somewhere right here. Go ahead and give that a watch. Leave me a comment. Thanks again for watching, guys. We'll see you on the next one.